Next thought, a video that makes you see this world differently. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Next Thought. Recently, some juniors, they're reaching out to me for advice for the interviews. Therefore, I think here in this video is a really good place for me to share my personal suggestions and experience with you. Hopefully this video is helpful to you. As we know, 2020 is definitely a difficult and different year. Therefore, how to prepare your interviews well is a very crucial point. So in this video, I won't talk too many general things. For example, you should always do your homework, blah blah blah. I think that is not helpful. That are not the points that distinguish you from the rest of the people. Therefore, here I would like to mention some minor points that are always ignored by people. However, these points are really important. I would like to divide this video into 3 parts. The first is before the interview. The second is during the interview. And third part is after the interview. So what you should do before the interview. Here I would like to list 3 points. The first thing is when you should apply for the job or the position. So as we know, for most of the universities, there are only 2 semesters in 1 year, while for some university like CMU and also MIT, they have 3 semesters in 1 year. Therefore, my general suggestion for those new grads, the students, is you have to apply for at least 6 months before you end your university or before you have to get an internship. So here's my experience. I applied the full-time job starting, I think, in the 2nd semester for my last year. So at that time, I think, well, I'm so confident, right? I believe I can definitely get a job. However, this is not the case. Since even though you really got some, capabilities, but the company might just filter you out, right? Therefore, you have to give yourself a lot of preparation or the buffer time in order to get a job. So some of my friends, they were applying jobs in the 1st semester for the last year. So in the 1st semester, since not many students are looking for jobs, therefore there were less competition. And for the individuals, they are more easily to get a job. While in the 2nd semester, all the students, right, all the new grads, they are joining workforce. They're just like an army, a zombie army. And there are a lot of competition. It's really hard for you to stand out. And guess what? In 2020, very unluckily, the 2nd semester was the pandemic, and a lot of companies, they just don't have so many positions for the new grads anymore. And even today, a few months passed, still some of my friends, they haven't got a job. Therefore, I would always encourage you to find a job as early as possible. My second suggestion is always to find a referrer. So a referrer is the employee from the company that you are going to apply. So that employee will refer you to the company. So the referrer is really important, since the acceptance ratio for the students who get referred in comparison to other students, their ratio, the acceptance ratio, which is for the ratio they got the final offer, is much higher, around 3 to 4 times higher than those students who apply online. However, here's the thing. Always remember, you have to find a referrer before you apply for the job. If you find a referrer, you just don't have to apply the job online anymore. So here is an example. One of my juniors, she reached out to me and asked me whether I can refer her. I said, absolutely. However, later she told me that, alright, I've already applied the jobs online. Then I checked my referral system and I find out that I just can't refer her anymore, since she has already applied for those jobs and the system just can't recognize it. Therefore, always remember, as long as you find a referrer, you just don't have to apply online anymore. And next, the third suggestion is, if you can't find a referrer for a certain company, right? Since definitely you just can't find all the referrers from all different companies, you always have to put your resume to more companies. So here is my case. Since I think I'm quite confident, therefore at the very first time I just applied for 3 companies. I think I would definitely get an offer from one of them. However, in the end, I just didn't. And it's like 3 months passed and it's really in the middle of the second semester. Until then, I feel, very urgent or anxious. It's like, okay, now I still didn't get a job, right? And I have to find jobs from the very beginning since I only applied for 3 companies. Therefore, after that time, after that, experience, I know I have to apply for a lot of companies. Therefore, I applied for like around 10 companies after that time. And later, definitely I got a very good one. And there's also a really important point for you is why you need to apply for so many companies, right? It is because when you apply for many companies, probably you can get more than one offer. And once you have more than one offer, you can have the leverage. For example, if you have the offer from company A and company B, and you prefer company B in comparison to company A. And for example, company A offers you $4,000 per month, and company B offers you $3,000 per month. Then you can go to the company B, said, I got an offer from company A. However, I really wish to join your company, but their salary is $4,000 per month. Therefore, whether I can increase to $4,000 per month like them as well. So this is called leverage. On the other hand, if this is the case, for example, company A and B offer the same salary, for example, $4,000, but you just don't tell the company B's HR, right? You can just tell the HR that, okay, I got another offer from company A. They're also, very competent. They really wish me to join them. Therefore, whether you can give me more incentives in terms of the salary to make me join your company. So always remember, having more opportunities in your hand is always better for you. And there are also more opportunities for you to negotiate and to leverage. Okay, next we're going to move to the second part, which is during interview. Of course, we all know that some general suggestions like don't be panic, don't be nervous, right? They're all humans and not robots. You can just chat with them. Yeah, that's true, but that is not what I'm going to talk about here. Here I would just like to talk one thing, and that is ask question. So this part can be divided into 3 branches. The first thing is always ask for clarification. So when the interviewers ask you a question, right, if you don't understand it, you always have to ask them for clarification. So if you don't know what they're asking, how can you answer the question, right? However, for most of the people, they think they would be stupid if they ask, the question. But that is not the truth. If you don't ask for clarification, you are stupid. So always remember, don't be afraid, right? Just ask them if you don't understand the questions. The second thing is you should ask for hints. For example, during the interview, interviewers ask you a few questions and you really can't answer them out. So what you should do? Should you just sit there and say nothing? That definitely doesn't work, right? I know, ask for hints is not that good, but if you cannot answer that question, that's even worse. Therefore, sometimes we can ask for hints. And for software engineer interviews, it is especially true. The interviewers, they will always have to give you some hints, since they're not expecting you can answer 100% of the question. As long as they give you a hint, just 10% of the question, you can do the rest of 90%. They will still be very satisfied. Therefore, always ask for hints if you don't know how to solve the question. Last but not least is asking some, general questions after the interview. After the interview, the interviewers will always ask you okay, so this is the end for what I would like to ask. Do you have any questions to me or to the company? In those circumstances, you should always ask questions. Therefore, you should always be prepared before the interview to have some questions regarding to the teams, regarding to the roles, regarding to the companies. If you just say, okay, I just don't have any question, what do you think that the interviewers would think? They would think okay, you just don't so passionate about our company, and that won't leave them a very good impression. Therefore, always be prepared for some questions before the interview. And when they were asking, do you have any questions? Answer them, ask them. And when they were asking you, do you have any questions before we end this interview? Always ask them. And now let's move to the final part, which is after the interview. I know for most of the people, they think after the interview, the only thing they need to do is to wait. However, that is definitely not the case. So The first thing you need to do, always remember to do that is when you get home, open your laptop, don't watch YouTube videos, don't play computer games. But of course, if you watch this YouTube video, or my channel is definitely fine, but just don't watch the rest of the videos. So open your laptop, open your email, and send a thank you letter for the HR. Usually, the HR would be the one who organizes your interviews, right? Since HR really busy, they will be like handling tons of interviewees, candidates every day. Therefore, probably they can just forget you. Therefore, if you can send a thank you letter to them, thank you for everything you have done for me to organize these interviews, then they should definitely reply you, right? And when they reply to you, they will have a deeper impression on you. And they might think that, okay, you are someone who know how to appreciate. And in some companies' culture, this is a really important thing. And the second thing is always to check your interview status. This point is not, just for the final interview, but for all the interviews, right? For example, if you find a full-time job, usually you will have 5 rounds of interviews. After each round of interview, you have to do these 2 things. You always have to check with them. So here's my case. Previously, I got a full-time offer from Qualcomm in San Diego, California. The HR told me that she would send me a full-time offer. But after 2 or 3 weeks, I remember it's like 3 weeks, I didn't, receive any feedback from her. The truth is, she has already sent the offer letter to me, but I just didn't receive it. And there's actually, an expiration date. Usually it's like 2 to 3 weeks. So if you didn't reply to that email, right, or probably just some portal from the company's website, if you don't reply, if you don't accept it, that offer would expire. Luckily, I asked her. I checked with her like after 2 weeks, I still didn't receive the offer. And later she realized, okay, she probably sent to a wrong email address. And therefore, I was very lucky I can still, sign on the offer letter. All right, I think this is the end for this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. On the other hand, if you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe my channel. I promise I'll bring you more surprise and more practical knowledge in later videos. Alright, thank you very much for watching and hope to see you in other videos.